Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, Sahanau bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 61 to 65 of chapter 2. Tani sarvani sanyamya,
Tani sarvani sanyamya,
Yukta asita matparaha,
Yukta asita matparaha,
Vashe hi yasyendriyani,
Vashe hi yasyendriyani,
Tasya prajna pratisthita,
Tasya prajna pratisthita,
Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha,
Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha,
Sangasteshu pajayate,
Sangasteshu pajayate,
Sangat sanjayate kamaha,
Sangat sanjayate kamaha,
Kamat krodho bhijayate,
Kamat krodho bhijayate,
Krodhat bhavati sammohaha,
Krodhat bhavati sammohaha,
Sammohat smriti vibhramaha,
Sammohat smriti vibhramaha,
Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha,
Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha,
Buddhinashat pranashyati,
Buddhinashat pranashyati,
Ragadvesha vimuktaistu,
Ragadvesha vimuktaistu,
Vishayanindriyaischaran,
Vishayanindriyaischaran,
Atmavasyairvidheyatma,
Atmavasyairvidheyatma,
Prasadamadigacchati,
Prasadamadigacchati,
Prasade sarvadukhanam,
Prasade sarvadukhanam,
Hanirasyopajayate,
Hanirasyopajayate,
Prasannachetaso hyashu,
Prasannachetaso hyashu,
Buddhi paryavatishthate,
बुद्धिपर्यवतिष्ठते.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So, last week we were doing verse number 61, wherein he says, Tani Sarvani, having restrained them all, the senses, one should sit Asita Yukta Matparaha, united with me as the Supreme. So Matparaha means me as the Supreme, considering me as a Supreme. So whenever a master uses the word I or me in a state of inspiration, he means the infinite self, the supreme self, which is present within everyone. See, when it's a normal conversation in the normal parlance, a master may use the word I or me to mean the limited personality also. But whenever a master tunes in to that frequency, and then he is in the mode of giving the highest truths, now it is a totally different frequency. So if you put your filters and if you listen to these things, your understanding will be very, very limited. I remember when I was a teenager and I came across the Bhagavad Gita, when I was reading the various chapters, especially the 10th chapter, and even the other chapters, many verses, Krishna went on, he's talking of, come to me. I am the Himalayas among the mountains. I am this, I am that. He goes on that I was standing out. Now I was trying to understand what it could mean, but there was a friend of mine who was an atheist, and he used to criticize all this. And when I asked him, why are you criticizing the Bhagavad Gita? Have you really gone deep into it? I remember he said, no, I did read it and see. It just seems like self-glorification. Krishna is just saying, I am this, I am that. Now, in spirituality, we say there should be, on one hand, they say you should not have any ego. On the other hand, you find throughout the Gita, he is only glorifying himself. I just heard whatever he said. I didn't conclude anything because I was seeking. Whereas he had actually concluded. He stopped his search because of an erroneous conclusion which he came to. Much later, after a lot of sadhana, meditation, I could understand that the very level and frequency from which these things have been said, have been written, is very, very high. And unless you tune into that frequency, you cannot get the real meaning of what he's trying to convey. The question being the same, there can be two different answers based on the level of the student. This is number one. Like supposing a question is asked, what should I do in order to advance spiritually? Depending upon the level of the students, you can give not too many answers. If you find the student is at 10% level, you will say, do a lot of seva, do your duties. Supposing the student is neglecting his duties, do your duties perfectly. That is how you can advance spiritually. If a person has grown to a very advanced level, you may say, meditate, single pointedly focus on that reality. Now, which answer is correct? Both are right. It all depends on the level, the nature of the students. Similarly, the same words, when uttered by a master who has advanced spiritually, who is at the highest level, and which are also the same words which are uttered by an ignorant person, both will look alike externally. But if you go deep inside, the deeper meaning would be totally opposite. So Ravana, for example, he also said, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Supreme Brahman. And you find all the masters, the avatars and the great saints, when every now and then they kept saying, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Actually, Aham Brahmasmi is taken from the Vedas only. So then what is the difference? When an ignorant person says, I am God, he is referring to the lower personality, the physical body as God. Whereas when a master says, I am God, he is vibrating from the infinite, vibrating in the infinite frequency. His level is way too high. And from that frequency, he is not talking about the physical body. He is not talking about the limited personality. He is attuned to that infinite. And he says, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that supreme being. So the same I, when it is associated with the physical body, the limited personality, the emotions and thoughts, it is ego. When it is associated with that supreme infinite reality, it is not ego. So don't read these verses merely externally. That is a mistake which everyone has made. So when he says, one should sit united with me as the Supreme, you can take it as the physical form of Lord Krishna. But actually you are bringing down his level if you do that. Not only Krishna, you take any scripture. Whenever a master talks, when they tune into that frequency, this will be their language. This is the yogic language. So when you get united with the supreme aspect of Lord Krishna, the amazing thing is you will find that the supreme aspect or the highest aspect, the infinite aspect of Lord Krishna is the same as the infinite aspect of you also. And that is why it is said in the scriptures that you don't need to seek God anywhere outside. You may go to a temple, you may go on yatras and all this. That is fine. But if you go with an attitude that let me go there because God is present only there, let me go and contact God there, you will never be able to contact God, because that supreme infinite presence is there within you. These are only various practices and rituals given to drive you inward. So you have these two aspects, the lower finite aspect and the highest aspect, Paraha, the infinite aspect. Now you have a choice to identify with the lower or to identify with the higher. Now he says, put in that effort to identify with the infinite aspect within you. You have traveled a long way in this journey. When I say you, I don't mean in this birth. I'm talking of you as a Jivatma, as an individual soul. Many, many births you have taken, and you've been searching. You will not rest content till you become one with the infinite. You're seeking that happiness everywhere. You're seeking it in wealth, you're seeking it in name, you're seeking it in fame, you're seeking it in relationships. Actually, what you're seeking is the infinite. Unconsciously, your goal, the goal which you're having is infinite only. That is why you're not satisfied with anything which you get in the world. You know, people who have put in effort and achieved a lot of success in a particular field, all their life they wanted that, and then they put in a lot of effort and get that object, or they get to that position, and then they find that they are not satisfied. It's only a temporary state of happiness which they experience. Life actually should teach you. Many, many births you have been experimenting with the various things in the world. What is it that you are seeking? Pause a little bit in your life and think, reflect. As he says, asita. Asita literally means sitting down. Of course, in meditation, you're going to sit down and do the get into a state of meditation. But asita also has a deeper connotation. It means pausing in life, pausing and reflecting. It means let your mind settle down. It is so preoccupied with so many things. At least a small portion of your day, let it settle down and you ponder. You make attempts to unite with the infinite aspect within you. That is why I'm telling you, do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana every day, because that will help you. That will help you to make the mind settle down, so that your mind is available for this inner inquiry and this inner journey. So, yukta asita mat paraha. See, when it comes to these things, don't postpone. You have a tendency to postpone. Tomorrow, let me do it later. Let me finish all my duties and then I will think about the infinite. By the time you finish your duties, your life will be over, this life. And then again you will start. The same habit will continue. Actually, this habit of postponing to the future, it has not been built just in few years. It has been built by you, for many, many births. Now is the time, either now or never. That is the yogi's attitude. So you can get to that level only if you practice sanyamya, that is the withdrawal of your senses, gaining mastery over your senses. Because when I use the word withdrawal, it can be misunderstood as merely physically stopping the senses from contacting the sense objects. That is not true. Gaining mastery over your senses. So today your mind is running helter-skelter. As soon as you wake up in the morning, the mind starts getting very active. Even when you're sleeping, the mind is so active in the dreams, As soon as you wake up, the mind will take over. Throughout the day, the mind is driving you. It is running here, it is running there. And before you know, you will be in your deathbed. 40 years, 50 years, 70 years, 80 years will just pass by. That is why in the Bhajagovindam, Adi Shankara says, Kala Kridati Gacchatyayuhu. The time sports, he says, because you don't feel the passage of time. In this extroverted pursuits, the mind is so engrossed, so involved that you forget the very purpose of your life. And the most interesting part is that you are seeking that infinite happiness. You are only seeking it in the wrong places. What is the difference between a person who is madly running after the world and a person who is going inward and seeking the infinite? There is actually no difference in their motives. A person who is running after the world, he is also seeking happiness. A person who is wanting to spiritually advance, who wants to go within, he is also seeking happiness only, the same infinite happiness. But one person is seeking it in the external direction, the other person is seeking it in the internal direction. So he is not saying you should stop doing things in life. No. If you want wealth, acquire wealth. If you want name, fame, relationships, power, position, whatever it is that you want, be free to acquire them. But side by side, understand that that is not your main purpose in life. If you sit in a car and if you're driving towards a particular destination, let us say you want to move from your place to another place, you're going. On the way, you may see some beautiful scenery, wonderful buildings you may see, natural things, trees you may see, so many things you may come across. You may enjoy all that. You may even stop for a short while and enjoy the beautiful scenery. But as you are enjoying that, you very well know that that is not your ultimate destination. Your ultimate purpose is to reach somewhere else. So you may enjoy all that, but you will not get lost in that. When the time comes, you will start moving again. That should be the way in which you function in life. The problem is not the world. The problem is when you take the world, when you seek the world as an end in itself. That is when you become highly stressed and dissatisfied. A person who has not achieved something, he is also unhappy. A person who has achieved something, he is also not satisfied. Why? Because both are thinking that that is that ultimate destination. And by the time when they reach that, they understand that no, this is not what I was really seeking. So when he says, Yukta mat paraha, unite with me as the highest, he says, that is your ultimate goal. Function in the world. Do all your duties, complete all your experiences, but do it as the supreme. You know, from a lower level, we say you are a finite person who is striving to move to the infinite, to reach the infinite. But from a higher level, what we say is that you are not a finite who wants to become the infinite, but you are the infinite who has descended in this finite form. So be in that pristine glory of the infinite and then experience everything in life. Nothing will touch you. So the word paraha is so significant because paraha means supreme, it also means the other. So whatever you're experiencing today is merely the limited aspect of your personality, the body, the emotions and thoughts. That's all. But that is not you. You have another aspect. The other aspect of you is the infinite, is the supreme reality. Now he is appealing to you and he says, make efforts to unite with that infinite aspect. It is only through sadhana that you can explore your own infinite nature. When you're very busy and preoccupied with external things, it's very difficult to explore the infinite nature. So that also should be converted as sadhana for preparation. When you do it as karma yoga, that will prepare you. But ultimately, this is your birthright. This is not a special, gift given only to certain people. Because even as I'm telling you this, the attitude with which you are watching it is, oh Yogishri, you are at a very high level. No. It is not a prerogative of only Yogishri. I am an ordinary person. Many people say that, So these masters were, what a level they had reached. But I am nothing. You are not nothing. When you go to a guru, you respect a guru so much. But actually, the guru respects you even more because he sees the infinite potential in you. He sees the infinite aspect in you. The relationship between a student and a master is one of mutual respect. When you go to the Upanishads, you find that the guru praises the student. Oh, handsome youth, he says, a youngster has come to learn from the master, So affectionate and with so much of admiration he talks. Why? Because a true master is always attuned to the infinite and he sees the infinite potential in everyone. So don't put yourself down. Don't think this is a prerogative only of a few people. If one person can do it, anybody can. The great Swami Ramatirtha, in the initial days of a sadhana, he says that he was a very, very timid, shy person, extremely fearful about everything. Actually, he says every whiff of wind used to throw me off balance. But through consistent efforts and sadhana, he says, I have come to a stage where nothing can disturb Rama. He used to call himself Rama. And if one person can do it, why not others? So take this as a direct message to you. One thing is to see this as a conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, which happened 5,000 years back. But that is not going to help you in any way. See this as a direct message from the higher to you. You have traveled in this journey, many, many births you have come. Unless and until you are prepared, you will not be listening to these great truths. The fact that you are getting exposed to this itself means the time has come. Start doing your sadhana diligently. So, yukta asita matparaha. And then what does he say? He says, once wisdom is indeed established, whose senses are under control. Vashehi indriyani. Tasya prajna pratishtita. Tasya prajna pratishtita means once wisdom is established. When? When the indriyas, the senses, the power of the senses, where senses when its full power are under his complete control. Now this line has confused many thinkers, because normally the sense control is always mentioned as a basic step, initial step in spirituality. And apart from sense control, there are so many aspects within you which you need to gain mastery over. But here he says, if you just achieve sense control, then tasya prajna pratishtita, that person's wisdom is established. So what does he mean? The clue is in the word Vashaha, Vashehi Yasyendriyani, one whose senses are under Vashaha. The Sanskrit word Vashaha means tamed, charmed. We are saying control, mastership, where you have completely mastered that object. Authority, you exercise your authority, influenced. That person or object comes completely under your influence. Then that is Vashaha. The other dimension of Vashaha means a wish or a desire, a will. It all starts off with that only. Your desire becomes the other person's desire. You must have heard of this terminology, Vashikaran. Vashikaran means completely hypnotizing the other person and bringing the other person under your control. That is called Vashikaran. That is another science. Every yogi gets, whether he or she wants it or not, he automatically gets the hypnotic powers and the powers of mesmerism and all that. But a yogi does not give any value to that. The moment you give value to all this, then remember the ego will be waiting. It will start, it will make you to misuse those powers. So that Vashikaran comes from this word Vashaha only. It's the same word which he's using. So why is he saying if your senses are under your vashaha, your wisdom is established? Why is he saying that? If you go step by step, it's very easy. You will get the deeper sadhana message. So step number 1, which he gave in the previous line, was sanyama. He said, having restrained them all, tani sarvani sanyamya. That is the starting point. It is a practice. Sanyama is a practice. You go on perfecting yourself day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. You become better and better. Now, step number 2 is vashaha. Vashaha means complete mastery. See, when you exercise vashaha on someone, what it means is whatever you wish the other person will do. You know, some hypnotists demonstrate these things even on the stage and all. Sometimes they demonstrate. So they bring a person on the stage and then they hypnotize that person. After that, whatever this person says, that person will start believing and doing. If he shows the floor and says there is water here, touch it and feel the coolness, means that person will be able to feel the coolness. Very interesting. That is the meaning of vashaha. So here he is talking about the relationship between you and your own senses, indriyaha. Indriyaha, not merely the physical organs, but the power behind the physical organs, the senses in its totality. So sanyama is moving from golaya, the gross fleshy organ, to the sense centers of the mind. That is what we saw. Now vashaha means beyond the sense centers. If you go deeper and deeper within, you have the various emotions, you have the various thoughts, which are all actually controlling your own sense organs. Now you gain complete mastery over the indriyas. That state is called vashaha. And you can gain complete mastery only when you go beyond your mind. In the 3rd chapter, he will be covering this in the Karma Yoga portion. He will say first is your body, the senses. More powerful than the body is your emotions. In between, the pranas are also there. More powerful than your body is your pranas. More powerful than your pranas is the emotions. More powerful than your emotions is your thinking, the discrimination, the clarity. And then more powerful than your intellect is the Supreme. So when a person starts uniting with me as a Supreme, means to his or her own infinite aspect within, what will happen is the sanyama which he was trying to practice in the initial stages will become easy, and as he gets established in the infinite, now the finite will come under his complete control. Today, the finite aspect within you is not under your control. Your eyes are not under your control. All the senses are not under your control. Your own pranas are not under your control. Your emotions are running helter-skelter. Your thoughts are scattered. Nothing is under your control. The finite is, literally pulling you. But to a person who gets established in the infinite, the entire finite aspect comes under control. So when he says, indriyani vashe, who yasya indriyani vashe, one whose senses are under vashaha, his vashaha, that can happen only when he moves beyond the realm of the emotions and thoughts and merges with that infinite state. So just by applying Sanyama, you will acquire a lot of powers, what they call as Siddhis, but you should not be happy with all that. That is all still finite. You should go on doing your sadhana with utmost humility till you reach the state of Vashaha, where the entire finite aspect of your personality comes under your influence. Once you reach this state, whatever you wish, the finite aspect of you will execute that and give you. Your eyes will not go on its own. Your emotions will not, run on its own. Your thoughts will not go anywhere it wants on their own. If you say sit, your mind will sit. If you say stand, your mind will stand. Such a person experiences supreme peace and bliss. When your mind, when your senses, your emotions, your thoughts, none of them are under your control, you are at their mercy. It is a slavish life. A slave can never be happy. So that is why he says, Vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtitha. So in the Bible also it is said, thy will is my will, thy will be done. Even in common parlance, people who don't know anything about the scriptures also, they all say, whatever God thinks, that's what will happen in my life. Even though they have not really gone into the depth of it, they are only saying it verbally. It's not that they have reached the highest state, but they would have heard here and there. Therefore, they say that, Kadavul de sittame and sittam. They say, whatever his thoughts are, that is only my thoughts. But the real meaning of that is this only. So these two aspects are there within you, the finite aspect and the infinite aspect. Now, to focus on the finite aspect, you don't need any training. That's what you've been doing for so many years. Now you require to train yourself to focus on the infinite aspect. Day after day, when you do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana, you will start getting established in the infinite aspect within you. And as you start getting established in the infinite aspect within you, the amazing thing is the finite will come under your influence. The Vashaha will start happening. To the extent you're getting established in the infinite, to that extent the finite will be under your Vashaha. And to that extent, your wisdom, you are established in the wisdom. So this is true at every level. It's not only at the 100% level. If you have achieved 50% Vashaha, then 50% you are established in this wisdom. It is in your hands only. Don't sit lazily and ask for grace, ask for blessings. You don't require to ask for any blessings. Many people, they approach the teacher and say, "Sir, I seek your blessings." It means you're doubting there is a possibility that he may not bless. Why do you need to ask? You bless yourself. When you do sadhana, the infinite blessings which are always there will start automatically flowing towards you. See, the problem is your mind is so limited that you try to limit the nature of God you try to limit the nature of a master also. You're thinking that just by asking blessings now he will personally favor you. If any master does that, then he is no longer a true master. The blessings are coming from the infinite, and that infinite blessings are always there for everyone. Just as the sunlight is there, meant for everyone. If you close your windows, you put the curtains, the sunlight is not going to enter your room. If you open your windows, the sunlight is going to enter. Simple. The sun has no partiality. Similarly, a master is like the sun. He is always basking in the glory of that supreme Paraha. So if you do your sadhana and you open your windows, that supreme light will enter you, will enter your life. So having restrained them all, one should sit united with me as a supreme. One's wisdom is indeed established, tasya prajna pratishtita, whose senses are under control, vashehi indriyani. So with this, we will move on to the next verse, verse number 62. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः
sangasteshu pajayate
सङ्गस्तेषूपजायते
sangat sanjayate kamaha
सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः
kamat krodho bhijayate
कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते
dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Pumsaha means a human being thinking on sense objects. Dhyayato means thinking. Vishayan, about the sense objects. A human being who thinks on sense objects, what happens? He or she develops attachment for them. Sangaha teshu upajayate. Attachment is born. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. From attachment is born kamaha, uncontrolled thought flow, which we are translating as desire. You should read it as uncontrolled desire, And then what happens? Kamat krodod bhijayate. Krodaha abhijayate. From desire is born anger. Actually, in verses 62 and 63, he is going to exactly map. See, he's been telling you that senses are very powerful. They will pull your mind. You have to practice sanyama. Then you have to get into the state of vashaha, which is the higher state. All this he has been saying. But now, in these two verses, he is going to tell you exactly how the mind loses itself in the senses. The ladder of fall. And then after that, what happens to that person? These two verses will be very useful to any sadhak because it studies the psychology of your own mind. See, one thing is to study the psychology of another person. But who is to study your psychology? I remember long back, there was a person who came and met me. He was a psychiatrist, very, very brilliant person and very nice person. But he had one habit, that is, anybody whom he meets, he will start criticizing that person. That person has this fault, this person has this fault. So within a span of, let us say, about 30 minutes or so, anybody whom he was talking about, he was only saying something wrong about that person. Probably a few people he praised also, but that was very less. 90% he was only criticizing others. He was criticizing some politician, he was criticizing his own family members, everybody. That person is lazy, that person is this. So I was just watching him, and then he felt a little uncomfortable because I didn't say anything. See, whenever people get into a spirit of criticism, now what is the point in participating in that conversation? I just switch off, in the sense I completely detach myself and just watch it like a movie, because otherwise that dirt will come and stick to you, you know. So after a while he became a little uncomfortable. He understood what was happening. So then he tried to defend himself. He said, "Sir, by the way, I am not criticizing. I am only studying the psychology of others, you know." I said, "Is it?" He said, "Yeah. I don't criticize at all. I only study the psychology of others." Then I asked him, "Sir, okay, you're studying the psychology of everyone else. But who is going to study your psychology? Have you ever made any effort to study your own psychology?" That hit him, because throughout his life he had approached the subject of psychology with respect to others. And he was actually, he himself was quite a stressed person, because what happens is, day in and day out, in his profession, he was meeting people with a lot of emotional issues, mental issues. So after a while, that starts sticking to that person's mind, you know. From morning till evening, when he's hearing constantly about some mental issue which someone has. But the moment I said that, he paused. And thereafter, he started asking me questions. It was very, very, it was an enlightening conversation which we had, because he became a very sincere sadhak. Till that moment, it never struck him that he was using psychology to read everybody else. And that too, he was identifying mostly with the negative aspects of others. But the moment I told him, "Who is going to read your own psychology? Why don't you do that?" his focus shifted. And to his utter surprise, he started doing the sadhana. After 2 or 3 months, he met me again, and he told me, "So these 3 months have been so enlightening, because I have begun to explore myself. And I was thinking that I don't have a criticizing nature. I am only factually analyzing the psychology of others. But when I went deep within myself, I found that no, I was actually criticizing them. Every time I used to look at the person whose weaknesses I knew, I always was judging that person. And through sadhana now, I am removing all the judgments. I am able to relate with others with more love and compassion. And I have become so calm now. it was very interesting when he said that. To me, it was like reading the Bhagavad Gita or a scripture, because he was talking from experience. See, whenever anybody does sadhana and talks from the deep experience, that has a power, that has the pran shakti, When you just merely read these things or listen to it once and you try to repeat it, there will be no shakti. When you internalize something and then when you share, that power is there. So, in these two verses, he is going to talk about your mind. So, when he says Pumsaha, human being, who is that human being? Put your name there. Whatever your name, he is talking about you only. What is happening to your own mind? See, when you want to conquer an opponent, first you need to know the strengths and weaknesses of the opponent. Even if you take, for example, a game of cricket or chess or any sport, they spend a lot of time, like for example, a bowler spends a lot of time in seeing the videos of the batsman. Each batsman, what weakness he would be having. Similarly, a chess player, he studies the opponent's moves and tries to see what are the holes, what weaknesses that person has, what strengths he has, so that accordingly he will adapt his game play, his strategy. So similarly, if you want to gain complete mastery over yourself, first you need to study yourself. If you want to gain mastery over your mind, you need to study your own mind. If you want to gain mastery over your senses, you need to study your own senses. This is called Swadhyaya, Swa-adhyaya, self-study. Many people think Swadhyaya means studying the books, merely studying the books. Or some people even mistake Swadhyaya as merely chanting. They just take some slokas and they chant. And when I ask them, what are you doing? I am doing Swadhyaya. Self-study is Swadhyaya, Swa-adhyaya, studying one's own self. So this is a great opportunity in verses 62 and 63. If you really go with the flow, and we are going to apply the yogic approach here and go into real depth. As we are going into the depth of these verses, if you also go with the same flow, you will find that you will start going deep within yourself. As you start understanding the truths behind these verses, an amazing thing will happen. You will find that your understanding of your own mind, of what is happening inside you, will deepen. So these two verses will actually make you a master psychologist, we can say. So what is psychology? Psychology is derived from the word psyche. Psyche means the mind. In Sanskrit, the word is manotattva. Manotattva is studying the mind in its entirety. See, tattva means essence. Investigating what is the essence of the mind and acquiring the whole wisdom about it. To such an extent where your own mind comes under your control. When you study merely others' mind, that is, when you study the mind merely externally, you may gain knowledge about the mind, but you will not gain mastery over the mind. So the difference between a yogi and a mere pandit is this only. A pandit knows a lot, but his own mind is not under his control. A yogi may know only a few things, but his mind is under control. And he says, one who senses indriyani, means the power behind the senses, which is the mind. One once that is under one's vashaha, his wisdom is established. No doubt, the greatest avatar, Lord Krishna himself, says that. So what is he saying in verse 62? Verse 62 is one half of this ladder of fall in this mapping, mind mapping we can call it. And verse 63 is the second half. So step 1, step 2. This is just for easier understanding. So what is he saying here? Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Before we even get into the actual ladder of fall, the first sadhana tip you get from this word pumsaha. It's a very, very significant terminology which he is using. Pumsaha is usually translated as a man. The word pumsaha means a man, that is referring to a male. But there is also this other meaning of the word pumsaha. It means any human being. Now when you just take an intellectual approach, you would say a man thinking on sense objects, you will just pass by. And then some people may ask, okay, what about a woman? Does it mean that a lady, this is not applicable to a lady? Such questions have also been asked. Here he is not using an exclusive word for man. See, for example, if there are many other Sanskrit words which exclusively refers only to a male. He is not picking up those words. He is taking up a word like the pumsaha. Pumsaha, the deeper meaning, only if you have the yogic approach you can understand. Pumsaha means a human being. Pums means a human being. Why is he using that word? That's why I have translated it as a human being. It is only a human being who has this infinite potential. You as a human being, you have this infinite potential within you. When you consider yourself as an ordinary person, these verses will not be applicable to you. When you consider yourself as a human being, the moment you say, I am a human being, spiritually speaking, a human being is considered as the number one in this entire creation. Why? Because it is only a human being who can consciously reach the state of infinite. It is only a human being who has this choice of action, this capacity, this power to choose. With that choice, you can either evolve or you can devolve. No other creature in the world has that capacity. So before you enter into this verse, the first sadhana you need to do is to understand that you are a human being. Now you may ask me, what is a big deal, sir? What is this, a biology class or something? Of course I know I am a human being. When I say you should understand yourself as a human being, what I mean is you should understand what is the power which you have, what is the potential which you have as a human being. The life of all the creatures, all the other creatures, the lives of all the other creatures are preset, pre-programmed. Whereas a human being alone has this choice, the power to choose, with which he can create whatever he wants, he or she. You can actually create whatever you want. you can become a god or you can become a demon. The gods and demons are not outside you. In the Shastras, it is said that it is a great punya, it is the greatest of punya to acquire a human birth. Avvayar said, aridu, aridu, manidarai pirappadu. Aridu means it's a rare phenomenon. It's such a wonderful phenomenon. Just to be born as a human being. But what happens? We never understand our own potential. We reduce ourselves to the state of other creatures, unfortunately. So a master comes into your life to make you understand what your potential is, so that you can bring out the best from you. He is not going to stuff things within you. There is nothing to stuff. You have everything within you. All those powers are lying dormant today. So if you want to conquer your mind, if you want to become a sthita prajna, the first step is pumsaha, understanding your worth as a human being. Aridu, aridu, manidarai pirappadu. It is a great fortune that you have been born as a human being. And having been born as a human being, you should not waste this opportunity. It is said in the scriptures that even gods envy human beings, the human birth. Because when you are born as a human being, you have the capacity to reach the highest. You have the capacity to choose, and with that choice, you can choose to do sadhana every day and evolve. You can also choose to devolve, which is what everyone is doing. But once you understand your potential, why would you use your choice to go down? So it's a beautiful word, when he says pumsaha. All the great masters, they never saw any religion, they never saw any caste, no creed, all these things. The only qualification to study the scriptures, the only qualification to evolve spiritually is that you have to be a human being, that's all. You go to the Vedas, you see the Upanishads, there is no caste there. There is no creed there. There is no religion there. Any master you take from any part of the world, true masters, they will never talk of those things. As long as you are a human being, they say that you have the potential to become one with the infinite. That is why I'm telling you, never ever complain about anything in life. If you want to perfect yourself, if you want to become a sthita prajna, first drop all your complaints. When will you drop all your complaints? The moment you understand your own potential as a human being. What a phenomenal thing has happened. The moment you are born, it is an amazing thing which has happened in this universe. A human being has come into existence. When you look at yourself, don't look at yourself in a low way. Don't unnecessarily boost your ego also. No, I'm factually saying your existence is something very unique. Your existence as a human being. The existence of other creatures is also unique because the same divinity is present everywhere. But when it comes to a human being has this capacity to consciously evolve and reach that state of perfection consciously. As a great thinker said, all animals are unconsciously perfect. All human beings are consciously imperfect, he said. But as a human being, you have the capacity to rise from conscious imperfection to conscious perfection. So from this moment onwards, stop complaining about anything else. Just the fact that you are a human being itself means everything. You have the potential. You can achieve anything you want. Sometimes when people come and tell me, sir, my parents were not good to me. My father didn't leave any wealth for me. That is reducing yourself to a very, very low state. You should be grateful to your parents for the fact that they have been instrumental in giving you this human birth. Once you get the human birth, you can achieve anything which you want in the world. You can also achieve spiritual success. What more do you require? Don't complain about anyone. Once you start complaining, you can go on complaining. There is no end to it. So this is a sadhana which you need to practice. In today's meditation, I will install this in your deeper minds, and then when you reflect on these ideas, you will find that this perception about yourself will start growing. This perception about yourself as a human being and the potential of a human being. It is not a biology class where now I belong to the species human being. It is not that. It is seeing the spiritual potential within you. And the more you see that, the more you will be able to absorb the deeper imports contained in these verses. Otherwise, when you just merely study the ladder of fall and when you try to internalize, you may actually get depressed. You may lose your confidence. My God, my mind is completely going away. Now what to do? So right at the outset he says, remember your potential as a human being. So whatever you're going to study, the ladder of fall, you have as a human being the power to rise. That he will be giving after verse number 63. Okay, so we'll stop with this today. There are just one or two questions which I'll take up. This has been sent by a lady. I'm not mentioning her name because there are some personal things which she has mentioned. But her mail is so wonderful, full of that affection and love, So my humble pranams, Yogishri. See, starting itself, it's very inspiring, So that humility, it's not mere words. I can feel the energy, So my humble pranams, Yogishri sir. I offer my humble and deep gratitude for all the ancient wisdom discourses which are helping us a lot. Also sincere gratitude for the powerful meditations which helps the wisdom imparted to penetrate and gets installed into the deeper layers of our personality. Feeling much blessed and fortunate and grateful to Divine for the guidance to listen to such precious wisdom from you regularly. I also feel very greatly blessed that God has given this opportunity to share this wisdom with everyone, And I'm reading this to all the sadhaks because what she has written, the bhavana with which she has written is exactly what is given in the scriptures. That gratitude, the humility, all these things only you need to develop. So I'm not just merely reading the mail for reading's sake, but as I'm reading, others kindly absorb the spirit with which she has written this, so wonderful. I would also like to offer my sincere gratitude for providing your valuable response to my earlier queries also. So I now humbly seek your advice, kind advice for a personal issue which has been bothering me for quite some time. I am a corporate software trainer by profession. I love this teaching profession and have been regarded as a good teacher always. Due to multiple personal issues, I was in depression for a while. During that time, how much ever I tried, I could not do at my level best and hence could not do my trainings effectively. This reduced my confidence level. Now, because of divine guidance and regular sadhanas, I have come out of depression completely. Hari Om. I sincerely thank God that, you've come out of depression completely. It gives so much of happiness when someone says that, Also, regular sadhanas have helped me in transforming myself from the earlier state. I've become more independent. I can now be happy most of the times without any reason. I could love others more unconditionally, become more courageous and confident. My ego has reduced a lot. Could surrender to the infinite more than earlier, though I yearn for complete surrender. But somehow the past failure during the depression time is haunting me sometimes still, and I'm not able to let go of it completely. And when that thought comes, I'm not able to give my best. So I came to realize intuitively, due to divine guidance, that such failures came to teach me some lessons. I learned that I need to surrender more and I need to think how I can serve others through my work. Your inner strength also reiterated these to me. But as you said during today's session, it is that session which she attended that time, I could not surrender completely all times. During such times only these past failures, the memories of the past failures come back to me. So I humbly seek your wisdom to help me. Also, sometimes I feel bored to take the same training content repeatedly. As you have rightly said during your sessions, I say to myself that the batch is new, people are new, but sometimes I succumb to my mind saying that it is boring, and again I am not able to be effective such times. So how do I overcome my mind in this? I need your counsel in this also. Thank you so much again, sir, for imparting the ancient wisdom so beautifully to apply them practically in our lives. Regards. What is very interesting is when someone keeps on using the word thank you, gratitude and all that, even as I was reading, more than the other things which he's saying, the gratitude, the thank you nature, that automatically gets absorbed by the mind. I'm sure you all also would have experienced that, isn't it? If not, then you should do your sadhana a little more diligently, because whenever somebody gives a powerful, positive thing, we should immediately absorb it. So there are two questions basically which you've asked. One is about the past incidents when you went through depression. Yes, see what happens is, in the sadhana, the release of the past incidents will happen gradually only. It will not happen at one go. So you're on the right track. See, the fact that earlier, so much of depression was there, this was there, but all that has been overcome itself means you are moving in the right track. Now, there could be still some incidents which are haunting you. So don't worry, you don't need to do anything special. If you moved from, let us say 30% to 50, now if you continue in the same path, you're going to move from 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and it's a question of time. You will be completely out of those past, those past incidents which are haunting you today. So just continue with whatever you're doing. You're having such a wonderful attitude. you're very humble, and you're also diligently doing your sadhana. I can feel that. So just continue on that. Forget about the results. After a while, I may have to, a time would come where if I ask you what about the past, you will ask me which past, because you would have overcome that. Now almost 90% it's gone, just a few incidents, that also will go away. So just continue whatever you're doing. There is nothing special required for you. And whenever we do the deeper sadhana, the empowerment programs, keep attending them, because whenever we have an empowerment that is specifically designed to remove the influences of the past at a very rapid pace, and in future when the right situation comes, we will have a complete program on the past therapy also, the therapy to heal the past, which is called Pratiprasav Sadhana, the Jati Smaran, as Mahavira called it, Jatak Smaran as Buddha called it, which is directly getting into the past and like an operation, removing all the negativities. So that has to be done under the guidance of a master. That is, you cannot do it on your own. That is only at a very advanced level. So when we do that, we'll see. But till then, you just continue with your weekly session, whatever we are having, and your Yoga Sankirtan. Gradually, the changes are already happening in your life. And also, whenever we have any kind of empowerment program, you just attend that. Even this 22-day program which we're going to have in December, even though the focus is going to be on health, we are going to invoke the divine energy. There are going to be some special meditations where little bit we'll be getting into the pranic level, the emotional level also, because ultimately the body, the pranas, the mind, everything is connected. So you will find that suddenly some of the negative things which have happened in the past, in one session itself it can get released, So I'm so happy to read your mail. Just continue being such a wonderful sadhak. All the blessings will come to you. Regarding your second question, that is, you're feeling bored in work. You just find out whether this is your passion, because generally when we are passionate about something, we'll never get bored in that. You find that the boredom comes because of a monotony. But for a person who is very interested in a subject, he will want to read it again and again, do it again and again. He will get a lot of enjoyment in that. So just find out. If you feel, yes, no, this is only my passion, then in case you're finding it monotonous, here and there, try to infuse new things in your training program, small things. It could be examples. It could be some concepts also, some minor changes. So as the trends are changing, you can pick up new examples from your day-to-day life and try to infuse it there. That will help you get the freshness. See, if you just have the same thing and you go on repeating it, after a while it can become mechanical. I think that is your issue. It has become a little mechanical, So infuse some good elements. Just note down your points only. Don't prepare 100% and go in your training. Just note down only your points and try to talk spontaneously there. These kinds of things will give more life to your work. And then, as you said, even though the program may be the same, the people who are attending are different. So instead of merely focusing on just conducting the program, see how you can make the other person understand this better. And the moment your focus goes on that, each one has his own kind of mind, her own kind of mind. The psychology will be different. So how you need to adapt your training to suit that particular person will become a challenge for you. So like this, try to make your work more challenging and enjoyable. Then this problem can be easily solved. Okay, now we will have the meditation on whatever we have studied today. It's very, very powerful principles, but these things have to be installed in the deeper aspects of your mind. Okay. Gently close your eyes. Relax completely. Do deep breathing. No strain whatsoever. Breathe in a very, very relaxed manner. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I withdraw my consciousness from the physical body to the pranas. From the pranas to the mind, the various emotions and thoughts. The body, the emotions, the thoughts, they constitute the finite aspect of my personality. Now I withdraw my consciousness from the finite to the infinite aspect within me. one with that infinite. I am one with that supreme consciousness. Om Namo Narayana. I am one with that supreme divinity. Om Namah Shivaya. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. I have acquired this human birth, which is extremely precious. I am that infinite who has been born as this human being. As a human being, I have infinite potential within me. From this moment onwards, I choose to assert myself as a human being. I choose to be in this path and do my sadhana every day and raise my consciousness to the highest, to the infinite level. The most wonderful thing which has happened is my birth as a human being. I exercise my choice to do the spiritual sadhana diligently. and live up to my potential as a human being. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Let your consciousness come back slowly. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, top of the head, the back of the head and neck. And very, very slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So it was a very powerful and deep session today. Somebody had commented somebody told me that after every meditation session, after every discourse, I keep saying it is a very powerful session, it is a very deep session. So which one is more powerful? There is nothing like that. In this divine wisdom, in this divine science, every aspect is powerful. Every aspect is holy. The more we get into this, the more it inspires us. When we do the 22-day program, you will see every day will take you more and more deep inside. You will feel, oh, this is very powerful. And the next session will be, oh, is this more powerful? It will take you more and more within. There have been a lot of questions which people have asked about the 22-day event. One of the things is about the preparation, what kind of preparation we should do. I will be sending you those things. Those of you who have registered already, the healing energy has been invoked. So you will find a lot of changes in your life. Many issues will start getting resolved. So do your sadhana. You will get wonderful experiences in your sadhana. And for the participants, I'm going to create some small video and audio material which will be, the links will be sent to you with the password. So you can tune in. So the first thing which will be given to you are 2 small healing meditations. So you just have to play them. So one will be for the morning and one will be for the evening. So just 5 minutes it will be. The time alone I'm not telling you now, because whatever naturally comes, what will suit you, I'll go with the flow. But it will just be it will not be a very long meditation session, but short capsules. So that if you do it in the morning and evening, that's how we are going to start. And then we still have quite a number of days before the program. So whatever other instructions I get in the meditation, I will keep creating those videos and I'll pass it on to you. So once you get this link, don't worry, all of you will be getting the link once the material is ready. You can watch them online and you can play them. All those instructions will be given, and a few other instructions also regarding your sadhana. I'll be giving that either in a video form or it may be put in written form as a PDF, and also that may be sent to you. We'll see whichever is the best suited. I will decide spontaneously, according to what will benefit you maximum. Okay, so as far as preparation is concerned, don't worry. Already the healing has started. Many of you, I can see that those who have registered, you've already started feeling the energy, So that will go on increasing. And with this preparatory material which I'll be giving, more healing will happen. And remember, please don't show these things to people who have not registered, because I'm focusing only on those who are registered. This is an empowerment program. There has to be an exchange of energy. To those who are committed, I'm giving this because they will not be able to handle the energy. So I'm talking of unprepared people or those who have not committed, So this a lot of higher help is required in this. So when I'm giving you a preparatory material, remember I'm also infusing the preparation for empowerment. So the preparation itself will be very powerful. So this is only meant for the sadhaks who have registered for the event. So it may be your own near and dear one, but unless and until that person registers, they are not supposed to see this. So if you don't follow these things, you just simply show it off to somebody, and if something happens, now don't come back and ask, because what can we do? And not only that, see, these things are very sacred, so you have to utilize them for your growth. You should not fritter away the energy which is being given to you by sharing it with others at this point. What can be shared is the wisdom. You can expose them to these sessions, and that is different. But whatever material is being given to you here and then during the empowerment sessions, all those things are meant for your spiritual upliftment, personal spiritual upliftment. Remember that. Okay. So other questions I'll answer later. So thank you very much. We'll meet next week. Thank you.